This is the Hutt switch, and I have to say I'm pretty excited about these switches, as they're the first BSUN tactile that I've reviewed in quite some time. They're brought to you by XY Studio, which was behind the BSUN X switch that to this day is still one of my favorite linears, and arguably one of the switches that started the wave of BSUN dominance in the MX switch scene. Now BSUN is no stranger to tactiles, having been behind the manufacture of the original in-ear pandas of Holy Panda fame. The BSUN Yacht pandas were one of the first switches that I reviewed on this channel, and I have to say, rewatching that video and some of my older reviews is pretty painful. If you've been with me since then, you're a real one. But getting back to the Hutt, they're named after Hutt Beach in Australia, which is apparently known for this beautiful peak hue. The Hutt switch is a long pole tactile switch with a polycarbonate top, a modified nylon bottom, and a POC stem. It uses a 20.5mm long single stage spring with a 40-gram actuation and a listed 49-gram bottom out. As for the tactility, I'd classify it as a P-bump with no pre-travel, a rounded tactile bump, and roughly 1.5mm of post-travel with a total travel of 3.5mm. Let's take a listen to these switches stock in my mode tempo with a carbon fiber plate. Keycaps are GMK Moomin. Here's the typing test. I have to say, because of the light actuation force on the spring, the bump feels very comfortable to type on, almost like a Topre-esque typing sensation. They feel similar to my desk keys BKE pink domes as far as the actuation force goes, and I have to say I'm really enjoying the typing experience on these. As for the sound, I think the POC stem does tone down some of those really high tones that can be present on a long pole, even when paired with the carbon fiber plate on the tempo. Overall, I'm a big fan of the sound signature of these switches, and I think XY Studios did a great job about being intentional with the components that make up this switch. There are no crap sounds, which was one thing I was worried about, but it's great to see that BSUN tactiles, which are less common than their linears, don't suffer from leaf noise or tick. I wanted to see what the factory lube situation was like on these, but to my surprise, there was very little lube overall on the switch, with just a little bit of dry lube on the stem legs and a very light coating of oil on the stem sliders. Take a listen to these switches after some 205G0 on all the contact surfaces, including the top housing. Here we go. After the lube, these switches went from a very solid switch to exceptional, and I love how the light factory lube lets you tune the sound to your preference. It's a slight difference and it might not be worth it to most people due to the very good stock performance, but I really enjoyed these switches after lubing as I felt like they made them sound a little more refined. Surprisingly, or I guess unsurprisingly, there wasn't really a noticeable difference between stock and lubed in terms of smoothness, as every recent BSUN switch I've tried has been extremely smooth out of the bag. Now let's hear a comparison to some other popular tactiles, the Boba U4T and the Gateron Azure Dragon V2s. Here we go. I have to say, the carbon fiber plate on the tempo has a tendency to make all these switches sound extra clacky, but the POC stem on the Hutts and that creamy BSUN sound and feel make these a win for me. Overall, the Hutts are very easy to type on and they're a great switch. And since I wasn't witty enough to think of a dad joke, I'll make it up to you with a picture of Jabba the Hutt chillin' at Hutt Beach. Please don't unsubscribe. If you want to pick some up, they're on group buy at Unikey's through October 1st, with delivery shipping in about a month, so no GMK wait times. They're 55 cents per switch, which is in line with other BSUN offerings, and I think more than a fair price for this level of stock performance, and if you care, the aesthetics. I'll have the link in the description below. Check out some more keyboard content here. I'm MakerMods, and I'll catch you in the next video.